one thing that was very, very fascinating this morning was the presentation of a House Joint Memorial 4. Now, no, I'm sorry, House Joint Resolution. Is it a memorial? What is it? It's a HJR. Yeah, it's a resolution. This would put onto the ballot another constitutional amendment for us to consider as Idahoans on whether it should be up to the legislature to regulate the legality of psychotic drugs like marijuana and all sorts of drugs, marijuana included, right? I want to show you a graphic. This was posted this morning. I saw this from Representative Heather Scott. She shared this graphic this morning. Look at this. This is a map of the United States where marijuana is either fully legal or somewhat legal, or maybe just THC is legal if you go to a shop and just buy THC for medicinal purposes or whatever. So all of the shades of green is where marijuana is legal in some format. The dark green is where it's completely legal. Just full on, you can grow it, you can sell it, you can smoke it, you can walk around the streets, depending on the city ordinances, but for most intents and purposes, for all intents and purposes, it's legal in all the dark green spots. We are in red because as of right now, marijuana is still completely illegal in Idaho. And so we have a shade of red there. And as you can see, we're surrounded by states where it's completely legal. And Idaho is doubling down. Here is Representative Skog. Is it Skog who presented this morning? Surprised me here because my mind's all a jumble here. Somebody presented this bill this morning that would say we're gonna stay red. How about that? We're gonna keep Idaho red in terms of that map. Watch this.
Were you just talking about the efficiency of setting budgets in JFAC? Is that what you guys were trying to work out there?
Mr. Chairman, I was getting lobbied a little bit.
All right, go ahead, Representative Skog.
Committee, Mr. Chairman, Bruce Skog, District 10, Star, Middleton, and Nampa areas. You've heard me talk about this a little bit already when we introduced this and the previous HJR 3, and this is the replacement HJR 4. So I don't want to repeat myself too much, but there is good and evil in the world, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe that it's part of our battle is to battle evil. One of the most evil things we deal with is the addiction, the sale, illegal sales and production of drugs, illegal drugs, the psychoactives, all the things you can think of, the heroin, the marijuana, all of that. It damages lives for generations. And we fight that as an Idaho state legislature and have a long history of doing that. And I'm proud to be part of that legacy. And that legacy is going to continue with this joint resolution as we amend our Constitution, if the voters so choose. The question we want to put before the Idaho voters is, shall Section 26, Article 3 of the Constitution of the State of Idaho be amended to provide that only the Idaho legislature shall have power and authority to legalize the growing, producing, manufacturing, transporting, selling, delivering, dispensing, administering, prescribing, distributing, possessing, or using of marijuana, narcotics, or other psychoactive substances.
Okay, so there's the language. If you guys caught that, what this bill will do was will put it will put all of the power in the legislature to make decisions in the future on whether or not it's legal or in some form or fashion, right? So this isn't necessarily saying this will never be legal here in Idaho or anything like that. It's just saying we are not going to allow municipalities, we're not going to allow, referendums and all sorts of things to sort of mess with this thing. It's going to be left into the power of the legislature. Brian Allman is with us, and Brian, good to see you, my friend. We'll get to the tax debate that happened in the Senate that you were watching, but real quickly, when it comes to marijuana in Idaho, what do you think of this resolution?
I think it's just another way to protect our state. This isn't the early 2000s when the debate on legalizing drugs was mostly academic. It was, the potential of getting rid of restrictions on what you put in your own body. We've actually seen what it looks like now. My former home state of Washington was one of the first to legalize marijuana, and then Colorado did it, and now a bunch of states are doing it. And the results have not been some libertarian paradise. It's been poverty and mental illness and problems with families. There's also issues with marijuana nowadays being laced with a bunch of stuff that we don't even know. So yeah, this is not something we want to see in Idaho. I think most Idahoans probably agree with that. And yeah, this seems like an interesting way to protect it.
Yeah, and also it allows the legislature to be the ones that can form task forces and do studies and have special committee hearings, because there is folks, even if you're out there and you're just staunchly against marijuana altogether from top to bottom, there is proven medicinal benefits for folks that are dealing with certain painful illnesses and so forth, that THC and certain applications of marijuana greatly enhance the people's lives, and improve their quality of life. And so right now, even medicinal marijuana is not legal. But at the same time, going to, like you said, Brian, going down the road of those states that we're neighboring, it's just, the balance there. We need to figure out what the balance is. And I think putting all of that into the hands of the legislature is probably a wise thing.
Yeah, if they do consider some sort of medicinal carve out, then it would have to be very carefully tailored, because in most other states, that medicinal level is just the camel's nose in the tent to go to full legalization.
Absolutely. I mean, every state started out with medicinal, and then the next thing you know, everybody's in the pool, and it's a raging pool party. We did have a clip from some pushback here on this from Representative I think Green. Let's watch that clip.
Thank you, Chairman and Representative Skog. So I'm reading through this, and I kind of got hung up on narcotics. Doing just a quick Google search, narcotics include codeine, morphine, medicine that is already used in our communities. I guess I'm trying to understand, if this passes, are we going to have hearings on medicines, and are we going to have to approve those every single time a new one makes an appearance? Furthermore, I'm looking into this. Controlled substances, narcotics, and opioids vary from Schedule 1 to 5. So in my 7 years I've been here, I haven't sat through a hearing specific to a medicine that is being used in our community. Is that what we can anticipate if this passes? We're going to be having hearings about new medicines coming before us.
Representative Skog.
Chairman Crane? Representative Green? No.
Further questions for Representative Skog? Representative Skog, if you want to go ahead and wrap up then.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, committee, science and medicine affirm that these current illegal drugs should remain illegal. And so the social experiment in the other states affirm that we should not go that route. And I was kind of curt with you, Representative Green, I apologize. But we will not be running into that. It's the current illegal drugs that we would have to make legal. So that's the only time we would have to be involved in that. It's not going to be a running list of every week.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. We're not going backwards here. We're not going to go relitigate all the different medicines and all the psychotics that are out there. Although, some could make the argument that some of the things that are prescribed out there should actually be treated even more harshly than marijuana. Wouldn't you say, Brian?
Oh yeah, sure. There's a lot of stuff out there that's legal that shouldn't be, and illegal that shouldn't be. Legalizing more, I don't think, is necessarily the answer. But there's a lot of problems with the current system.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's what happened in that committee this morning.